When I first got my hands on the Weebil 3, my first reaction was, that's such a weird looking gimbal. But there's a good reason why so many creators like it. I gotta be honest, I did have some preconceived notions about this gimbal, and I didn't expect to say this, but I really enjoy using this. And that's why I'm gonna help you decide whether or not this is the right gimbal for you. Also, I want to say a huge thank you to Focus Nordic for sending me this gimbal. First of all, the wrist support. What a weird looking feature, but it actually works. I noticed that it makes holding the gimbal so much more comfortable, and it takes a lot of strain off of your hand, which is really helpful, especially if you're filming for the entire day. The top handle is so helpful when you want to film in a briefcase mode at waist height, or if you want to get these low to the ground shots. It just makes filming with this gimbal so fun. One of the biggest benefits of the Weebil 3 is the small size and portability. It's so easy to put it in your camera bag, and even easier to put it in your camera bag if you take off the top handle, the wrist support, and the tripod at the bottom. Also, I really like it that the Weebil 3 has this quick release system that allows you to take the camera off the gimbal and go handheld, and then put the camera back on the gimbal within seconds. That makes your life and your filming process so much faster. One downside though, the quick release plate isn't very thick, which means that it puts the camera and the screen quite low, and the rear motor of the gimbal obscures the view to the camera's monitor in certain shots a bit. It's not a deal breaker for me at least, but it's something that you might want to know. Straight out of the box, the Weebil 3 was a bit too sensitive, but when you dial down the settings just a bit, you can get some really buttery smooth looking shots. And to get the best results, I recommend using these settings. Press the menu button, go to Advanced and Smooth, and set the tilt to 110, roll to 100, and pan to 50. Here's some example shots that I filmed with the Weebil 3. For these example shots, I used the Sony a7 III with the Tamron 28-75 f2.8 G2 lens, and that setup weighs in total 1190 grams or 2.6 pounds, and the gimbal handled the weight perfectly. The price of the Weebil 3 is $529 US. However, you can get it without the top handle and without the wrist support for $449 US. But I gotta say that now that I have the top handle and I have the wrist support, I don't want to use it without them. The Weebil 3 has the typical filming modes that most modern gimbals have. It's got the pan follow mode, lock mode, follow mode, and the POV and vortex mode were kinda slow, but that was probably because I set the settings to be very slow so that the gimbal wouldn't be too sensitive and I could get smooth gimbal shots. And honestly, Those two modes are quite gimmicky, so I don't ever use them. The gimbal also has this built-in light, and at the maximum level it's actually quite bright, but you can adjust the brightness of the light and you can adjust the color temperature of the light. And it also has this built-in microphone inside the gimbal, which you can use by connecting the gimbal to the camera with a cable that comes inside the package. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about gimbals, then check out this video here, because I think you're gonna find it interesting as well. Alright, thanks for watching and I'll see you again in the next video. Take care.